it seems that everybody who is affiliated with Doctor Who, from directors and actors and showrunners, want this season to fail, and now we have Russell T Davies dismissing critics of his decision to focus the series on queer themes. In the opinion of showrunner Russell T Davies, the bevy of criticisms levied towards his decisions to make queer themes a central focus of Doctor Who are not only inconsequential but ultimately detached from fan sentiment in the real world. Now, of course, when you have a show like this, you could go in a million different directions, but when you decide to focus on queer themes, it's not going to work, and you're not going to get the majority of people to watch it. You are appealing to a very small audience, and you are going to lose millions of potential viewers. He offered this defense of his latest take during an interview, at one point making note of how the show just keeps leaning more into queer themes and everything, especially since the specials, which, by the way, before this new season released, these specials were the lowest rated pieces of content in the franchise's history. And now, actually, Ncuti Gatwa's beginning of his season, the first 2 episodes, and now there's 3 episodes, which we don't have the exact viewership numbers for the third, but the first 2 are actually the lowest, so it's not going well. He eventually asked Davies if he could speak about leaning into that more intentionally, to which the showrunner replied, "It's funny because, to be absolutely honest, it's almost not that deliberate, because that's the life that I lead. Congratulations that you lead that life, but most people do not lead that life." What he's putting into the show is not reality. It's what him and everyone, that believes in the message want reality to be, but it's not true. He says, in fairness, no one's ever asked me to step back from that. Yeah, because you're getting funding from Disney, and of course it's the BBC. Of course they're not going to tell you to take a step back. BBC race swapped Anne Boleyn, and of course look at the plethora of things that Disney has done over the past few years for DEI scores. But he says, I just don't think it even feels particularly queer to me. It feels natural. It's 2024 and we're all embracing this. Twitter might kick off, and in dark little corners people might argue, but that's not the real world. The real world is one of acceptance, and with battles to be fought and votes to be gained. Yeah, of course, the real world, if this is your life, is filled with acceptance and kind of that battle, as he calls it, but what he's putting into the show, again, is not reality. And he is not the only person who has boasted about this show going in an extremely woke direction. We also had Ncuti Gatwa pushing the disingenuous narrative that critics of the latest series are racists, and he said, it's just really sad for them. Oh no, you're not allowed to criticize anything that has a person of color in it, or a queer person in it, or someone who is just simply part of the LGBT, or else you are a racist, sexist, bigot. You're some kind of istanphobe, and it's gotten to the point of, absolute ridiculousness. There's only so much that audiences are going to take, only so many times you can insult us, and finally, people are waking up to this bullshit. People are finally saying, enough is enough. I'm not going to watch your series. I'm not going to support you. It's not that we're racists or sexist. It's just that we want content to be good again, and we want actors and producers to respect us. The only reason why Davies and Gatwa have jobs currently, and why they got this season of Doctor Who, is because people have loved the franchise in the past, and it's our doing. It's because of us that this show is still alive and ultimately successful, and it's so sad to see this happening. Seeing actors saying, go and touch grass, instead of saying, hey, I completely understand that this series isn't going to be for everybody. At least they'd have my general respect, but at this point, they don't even deserve that, and Russell T Davies is now coming out and dismissing critics of his decision to focus the series on queer themes that the majority of people don't want to see in entertainment. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.